What's up, everybody? Matt Kajeski here, back again with the Odd Shopper channel. And today we're going to talk some college basketball bets ahead of February the 1st. It is Wednesday. We have a full slate of games. Before we get started, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all other content goes live. Listening on podcast, please leave a rating and review there too. And we are brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. And for right now, they have a limited time offer where you can make a $5 wager on any team. And if that team wins or loses, you are going to be paid out $200 in the form of free bets. Again, click the link in the video description below. Head over to DraftKings Sportsbook. Make your first deposit of $5. $5 wager on any team of your choosing, and then that automatically turns into $200 in free bets. Let's dive into today's slate. Like my hat says, we're going to talk Marquette taking on Nova. And unfortunately, I'm on the Villanova side. So to kick things off, we're going to talk this game. And we took this at +8 in our Insider Discord. And at risk of this video turning into just a complete ad, I'm not going to talk too much about our Insider Discord. But if you want lines early, that's where we talk about them. In this particular game, you're going to see Nova take money. They're down to +7. +7 is still juiced. So I think this is probably going to take more money. Nova is the side for a couple of reasons. And the main one's injuries. Nova returned Justin Moore. That's their best player. He tore his Achilles in the Elite Eight last year, but he did play in their most recent game. And positively, he played 31 minutes, and he went 0-4 from 3. Last year, he shot 36% from 3. He previously shot 40% from 3 in his career. So Justin Moore's an excellent three-point shooter, and he does a lot for this team. Meanwhile, Marquette lost Cam Jones in-game over the weekend. He has a hip injury listed as questionable here. Sean Jones didn't play either. He had a wrist injury, and he didn't even warm up. You're not going to get any news out of Marquette. So I think waiting to see warmups is a way you could approach this. Right now, if you're viewing this video and you see a +7 that's juiced, I think you could probably take it. There's a chance Nova takes more money. But there's also a chance that one of these guys plays, and Marquette could get some late money here too. So one of the ways you can play college basketball games that you know have injuries is just wait for the late news. If they're both out, try to jump on this before the line moves. Always risking that, of course. But to talk the stylistics, not just the injuries, Justin Moore means a ton to this team. When you look at how both teams have played this year, Nova's 72nd overall, Marquette is 8th. They both have played tough schedules, but obviously Marquette has far outperformed what Nova's put on the court. When you look at these teams now that Justin Moore is back and Cam Jones and Sean Jones are potentially out, there are advantages towards Nova. At least maybe not so many advantages towards Marquette. The Marquette defense is very turnover-driven. They're actually 206th in interior defense and 189th in three-point defense, but they're 24th in turnovers forced. Now, Nova is 311th in turnovers committed this year. I even wrote yikes in parentheses, but Justin Moore helps exploit all that. First of all, those defensive statistics, 206th in interior defense and 89th in three-point defense, Justin Moore is an excellent shooter, which helps exploit those margins. Meanwhile, Justin Moore plays the 2. That means Caleb Daniels should be able to handle the point full-time. They kind of ran this weird lineup where Daniels would run point sometimes. Sometimes they would use Mark Armstrong. And a lot of that was because they just weren't deep. They had to use Chris Arcidiacono a lot at the 2. And just getting him off the floor is going to be pretty good for this team, and having Justin Moore should be a boost. Arcidiacono is basically, the Dale Bonner of the Villanova team. A lot of hollow minutes. He's a decent shooter, but he just does nothing else for the team. All this to say, Justin Moore helps Villanova a lot, and that should help this line at +7, at least give you some extra value here. We'll wait and see what Justin Moore does in terms of, or I guess I should say, we'll wait and see who Marquette has available. But right now, I took the +8. I think +7 is okay. Otherwise, I would just wait and see who plays for Marquette and take this line later. Next game, we're going to go to the Mountain West and talk New Mexico playing Utah State. We've been on New Mexico a lot this year, and we'll continue to take the points as they're underrated. New Mexico is 44th overall per KenPom. Utah State is 48th. Strength of schedule does favor Utah slightly here. And Utah State does rank slightly ahead of New Mexico in terms of offense, but New Mexico has a stark advantage on defense, and I think that's partially where you see this edge come from. New Mexico 68th, Utah State 180th overall. The big thing that Utah State is going to try to do is, I think, use their height. New Mexico is not the biggest team in the country, certainly. They're 152nd in effective height. Utah State is 29th. However, New Mexico has not always needed their height. They're 30th in rebounding. Utah State is 115th. So you don't always see Utah State playing through their size, even though Dan Aiken's 6'9", Taylor Funk is 6'9". Those give them a slight height advantage over the Morris Udezis and Josiah Alex at the 4 and 5. But even Sean Bairstow at the 3 is 6'8", and they'll use Trevin Dorsey occasionally at the 5. He's 7'1". So you can see Utah State does have a height advantage. They just haven't always used it. And even on the interior in scoring, they're only 61st in two-point percentage. Now, New Mexico is 231st defending that area, so still an advantage here. But New Mexico has a massive shooting advantage. They're 95th in three-point percentage. Utah State is 330th at defending the perimeter. And we already talked about rebounding. New Mexico is actually out-rebounding Utah State despite the height mismatch here. Now, on the other side, Utah State's a good shooting team as well, first in three-point percentage, but New Mexico is excellent at defending the perimeter, 23rd there. And the last thing here, New Mexico generates a lot more turnovers than Utah State, which I think could come into play. Basically, as you're hearing all these statistics, you're probably finding, okay, these teams are pretty evenly matched, with New Mexico a slight advantage on defense and Utah State a slight advantage on the inside. I agree with that, and I do think because of these mismatches in both directions, it should be closer to a pick 'em. But you can get New Mexico +4 against Utah State. So we'll take the value and we'll take the dog. A lot of dogs today. Last one we're going to talk about is Pittsburgh taking on North Carolina. This is actually a rematch. These teams played earlier this year. Pittsburgh gutted out a 2-point victory over North Carolina, but there have been some moving parts for both teams all year. Pitt is 68th with a 91st strength of schedule. They lost John Hughley, their main 5-man, earlier this year. North Carolina is 32nd with the 37th ranked strength of schedule. They played at various points without Armando Bacot. He missed a game, played through an ankle sprain, and they've also been without a couple other players on occasion for that team. But ultimately, they're healthy now. The first time they played each other, both teams were healthy. So you even had Pete Nance in the lineup for North Carolina. He's another one of the players that have been injured. So this was a fully healthy North Carolina team that lost to Pitt previously this year. Now you look at these teams, they're actually pretty evenly matched really across the board. Pitt is 53rd in height. North Carolina is 7th, but rebounding is not too drastically in favor of North Carolina. They're 18th. Pitt is 50th. Efficiency stats are pretty close for both teams. Pitt 61st on offense, North Carolina 47th. On defense, Pitt is 108th, North Carolina is 116th. Interior defense, pretty evenly matched. Interior offense, pretty evenly matched. The big difference is three-point shooting. Pitt takes the 23rd most threes in the country. They're 122nd in three-point percentage. North Carolina is 160th in defending that area. That's a mismatch in favor of Pitt. And North Carolina is a bad shooting team. 190th in three-point attempts. They're 283rd in three-point percentage. And Pitt actually defends this area around the top 100. Now, it's been years now we've seen R.J. Davis and Caleb Love bricking threes, so this is no surprise. But it has not improved, still 283rd in three-point percentage. If North Carolina covers the spread, they're going to have to live through Armando Bacot. And Pitt's been decent at defending the interior, even without John Hughley. Federico and Hinson have been pretty solid. And again, we saw this already occur once, not to mention Pitt shot 20% from three in that game, and they still gutted out a victory over a fully healthy North Carolina. I do think North Carolina wins the game, but plus 8.5, a lot of points here for the Pitt Panthers. Last thing I'll note on this, North Carolina minus 8.5 is a little juiced. If you wait, you might be able to find a Pitt plus 9. That is my current approach. I have not taken them right now. So to recap, games I've already bet, I did take New Mexico plus 4. I took Villanova plus 8. We'll be taking Pittsburgh at plus 8.5. Hopefully a plus 9 will come along, but we'll wait and see on that. Let me know in the comments what you think of these plays and any others on the board. It's a big slate. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe on the way out. You can follow me on Twitter at Matt_Gajewski if you would like. Until next time, good luck, everyone.